Dwayne said, my name is Kevin Linton, and just like you guys, I started here at SAC, and I believe I started in 2006. I'm just going to give you a brief background about myself. So I started as an older student because I went in the military at 17, and I spent 9.5 years in the Air Force, got out. So when I started the architecture program, I was 25 in 2006. So as you can imagine, that was just a big shocker for me. I think I took a few college classes and decided that I always knew I wanted to do architecture, but of course money was an issue when it comes to school. So my first first decision was to do the military, do 4 years, get out, and go to school. Obviously it took a lot longer than 4 years. It took 9 years, but I always had my mind set on the goal. So like most students who don't know anything about college, coming out of the military, I was thinking, community college, I'm going straight to UTSA. I'm not going to really deal with the 2-year thing. I didn't have to worry too much about the money. But I came by, and Mr. Connor met me in the hallway, and he gave me a brief tour. And I just came over because my wife, I was married at the time, I got married at 19, still married, just had a little baby. So go over there and talk to them and see what's going on. So I came in, and guys, I'm telling you, I mean, Mr. Connor blew me out the waters. I said right then and there, I said, you know what, this is where I'm going to start. Because I walked through the hallways and I saw the models, and I compared it to my walk at UTSA, and I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. So I started my architecture career with Mr. Blunt. And it was scary. It was scary. So that's when I started. And I had various teachers. I had Ms. Garcia, I had Dwayne, I had Mr. Escamilla. Never took Mr. Connor, but he was always giving critics. He was walking around doing this thing, like he probably still does. And I got to tell you guys, it was probably the best experience for me. And the reason I said that is because what it did, it prepared me for not what I was expecting going to UTSA, because at SAC, I mean, you guys are really, really privileged to have professors that on a daily basis you have hands-on contact with these guys. You can pull any one of the professors throughout the hallway and say, hey, look at my design, what do you think? And you get an unbiased opinion on your design. And that's what was so refreshing about coming here at SAC. So, I have some great memories starting here. But the main focus of this talk is for you guys that are transferring. So, to be honest with you, like I said, my wife was also military, so my school choices were very limited because obviously with the military she can't leave. So I had my sights set on UTSA all along. Now, trust me, when I finished here at SAC, I really believed that I could go anywhere. But because of my family, which was my wife at the time, I know that UTSA was my only option. So what I wanted to do was to make sure that I gave them no excuses for them to decline my application. And I think that's the biggest thing you have to think. You have to think, you know what, I can go to Columbia if I want to, I could go to Harvard if I want to. You just have to have that mindset. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to change the whole atmosphere. And that's the way I approach it, to be honest with you. I mean, because you have to think that way, because if you go over there feeling intimidated, you're going to get eaten alive. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go through some of my projects that I did here at SAC and UTSA. And it's not really to just show you guys, this is what I did or anything like that. But what I wanted to do was show you guys what you can accomplish at UTSA, no matter what the opinions are of any past students or any professors. Because I know a lot of you guys are looking at some of the top schools, University of Cincinnati, SciArc, and UT Austin, and you're looking at what they're producing portfolio-wise, and you're thinking to yourself, or you're comparing it to what the students at UTSA are producing, and saying, I might want to go here because they're producing better things. But what I'm trying to give to you is that the work speaks for themselves, and you have to be an individual. What you have to do is produce your style of work, what kind of architecture you want to produce. So I just want to show you guys what I've done throughout my undergraduate career here and at UTSA to give you an idea of what my design approaches were. So this project actually is is from Studio One when I transferred to UTSA. And what was so great about this project is we had a brand new professor. He's from Mexico City, and his name was Roberto Rodriguez, and he brought a different approach to design at UTSA. And what he did, which was, I mean, I was thoroughly prepared, because the way we approached to design this project was the way that Dwayne taught us in Design 4, to look at the big picture, macro scale and down back to micro scale. And I mean, I was shocked, because I think I walked out as fast like 3 times designing that 1 to 400 scale or something. But that just goes to show you that everything you learn here, you're going to take that over to your next step.
Want to go this way?
No, just go this way.
Ah.
And just
How do I?
Wow.
Just go. So as you can see, what I did, I was really big on, when I started at SAC, one of the negatives for me was, because I came from a computer background, was the digital stuff was lacking. But as you can see, just starting out, you know, at SAC, they taught me how to draw perspectives, you know, doing the whole Noli map thing. And these are all these things that I took with me to UTSA as a way of exploring. And I mean, this really helped me in terms of my design approach to everything. So you're gonna see this is a constant throughout my portfolio. And I'm not gonna get into the whole design of it. I just want you guys to view it, because it'll give you an idea of style. Because, you know, what I did, I went back last week and I talked to some previous professors and asked them, because I know I was doing this presentation, I said, well, what do you guys look for when you look at a student's portfolio? And the main thing that everyone said was consistency. So if you're gonna go with an elaborate digital, I mean, off-the-wall portfolio, they're looking for consistency, because it kind of gives them an idea of what your design thought is. So I just wanted to show you guys this to see, you know, I kind of mix a lot of digital aspects using SketchUp along with a lot of hand sketches, just to show your range, you know, to let these guys know, hey, I'm capable of doing digital design, but I also can do the freehand perspectives and all that good stuff, which is, I mean, that's paramount here. That's what they teach at SAC. I mean, I didn't touch SketchUp on, I believe Mr. Armstrong taught a SketchUp class 1 semester, and that was it. I mean, everything was hand drawn. Now this project was from Studio 2, and what we had to do was design a maintenance facility. So what was good about this project is everything before and even at SAC was really conceptual. You know, your design ideas, site analysis and things like that. Well, what this professor did, she focused on construction documents.
Who was it?
Diane Hayes. So she wanted you to focus on your design, but the meat of the project was, can you create construction documents for the contractors to actually build this stuff? So that was the whole idea of this project. Next slide. Go back this way. And as you can see, this was all CDs. We had to take this into CAD and, you know, this is what I do on a daily basis at work. So, I mean, this stuff is important. And just to go back and forth, so my approach is, when I went to UTSA, what I did, I thoroughly researched all my professors. I thought about, okay, which one of these guys are really going to help me in terms of my next level when I do graduate and want to get a job? And also, which one of these professors are really into sustainable design? Which one of these professors is strictly theoretical? Which one is digital? So you have to have a thought process when you're signing up for design. Just don't go out there and pick the next available professor. That's the biggest mistake you can make. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say any names or bash anyone, but I've had professors where they would come over and say, hey, do you need any help? And I'll just say, no, I'll just keep working. Because not all the professors are going to take, you know, the time to sit down with you and talk about your design, talk about your concept, talk about your approach to what you're going to do. So you have to research these professors. And I'm telling you guys, any of those studio students over there at UTSA, you give them a call. Heck, you can send me an email, give me a call, and say, hey, what do you guys think? What do you think about this guy? You know, have you had him? What have you heard? And this is the approach that I took when I selected my professors. So Diane Hayes, I mean, she's a great professor. I mean, she was the first one who really introduced the whole construction documents thing to us. And I mean, it helped tremendously because I tell you, when I use the same portfolio to apply for my job, I work for OCO Architects right now.
What is that?
OCO Architects, they're off Ceballos and
O'Neill, Conrad, and Opel.
yeah, O'Neill, Conrad, and Opel. These guys have been around since the 1970s, and 90% of our work is K-12 schools. So construction documents is very important. Yeah, you can have all the flashy design you want, but what those guys want to see is how much money you're going to make them. So it's all important. So.
And Diane Hayes runs the interior design program at UTSA.
Yes. This is Isabel Garcia. This, I actually did this project here at SAC. And I mean, it was brutal. I think this was design 3. And what was nice about this project, it gives you challenges, you know, how are you going to approach design in terms of, you know, what are the codes, and Ms. Garcia was really good on that, and I really appreciate that about her. That's the reason this project is in here. And it was one of my favorite hand models. It was a pain, but I love it. So this project was Studio 2, and what was unique about this professor was that he was really involved in community, and I knew that before I signed up for him. So I knew I wanted to get an idea, how do you work with a local community? And he was involved with the west side of trying to revitalize the neighborhood. And I don't know if any of you guys are from that area, but you can tell by scrolling here just a little bit, Tina. This is, I don't know if you guys recognize this building, it's off Guadalupe. So my design approach was not to tear down everything. I wanted to build a modern interpretation of housing in that area. So pretty much my design is up here. And go back this way. And as you can see, everything I do has hand sketches. This was a Rhino 3D that I incorporated, that I learned in the design studio. Next one. This is a model. This is when UTSA finally got a laser cutter, and I went crazy on this thing. They kicked me out of there because I wanted to get my money's worth because I was close to graduating. And it's some renderings. As you can see, hand sketches. Next. I mean, this is a Dwayne Boslaw project, and we were supposed to design a repertoire theater for downtown San Antonio, which I think they mentioned that thing is going up pretty soon, right? And see microanalysis, macroanalysis. And what's funny about this project was I presented my portfolio when I interviewed for my job, and Mickey Conrad is one of the partners, the original founders. He interviewed me, and the entire time I was interviewing for the job, he did not ask me about anything in my portfolio, but he asked me about these sketches. And I had to go through every single one of these sketches and explain to him what was my thought process. And guys, I'm telling you, this is so important because we do this every day at work. You know, it's about diagrams, it's about how you approach the site, it's all these things. So it's all important. I mean, these sketches are really, the flashy stuff is real nice, and I like it. You know, I like the whole digital aspects, but these hand drawings are very important. And this is the same project. This was my theater. But what I did, I actually did not finish for that competition. And this is very important. What I did, after the semester was over, I decided I was going to finish the project. So I redrew everything. You know, I revisited my design.
I'll vouch for that.
All my renderings, everything, because I finally understood what he was trying to give to us, what he was trying to get us to understand.